Hello, and welcome to Lost Movie Madness with Akeem and friends. And for once, I have a friend with me. My friend Andrew.
Hello.
He is very excited to talk about this movie, Surf Nazis Must Die. Now, we just did, let me turn this a little bit because we're not getting enough of you. We just talked about it on the podcast, Lost Movie Madness with Akeem and friends, which you can find on any podcatcher you listen to. And of course, we're here on YouTube. So we're going to talk about the movie, Surf Nazis Must Die, 1987. Stop making that face. It's weird. It's weird. So, what did we do first? We ordered some food.
We ordered food.
Some great food.
Oh.
So, first thing we had Momos. I don't know if you can see that, but they're like little steamed dumplings.
They are, and they come in with, it depends on what kind you get. It can come in a couple different ways.
This is the Jewel one?
Yeah. Steve. Yeah.
It may not be Jewel. It's Jhul?
Jhol? Jhol?
Oh, it might be Joel.
Joel?
I don't know because they don't use our alphabet. Nepali people don't.
No.
So translation's rough.
It is, but that's okay. If we're mistranslating, you can feel free to comment.
Yeah. Put it in the box
and correct us because we would rather be pronouncing something correctly. But the fact is that Nepali food's so good.
Oh. I don't know that people are using the term slaps anymore.
Am I old now?
Out there, let us know if they are. I don't know that that's the case.
It is delicious and scrumptious.
He's also making weird faces for some reason. I don't know, but I'm just so happy that somebody would watch a movie with me for once.
It was really fun. It happened in our lives. The surf Nazis definitely had to die. How that happened is an entire complete thing. Oh, I forgot.
I had forgotten. We're watching this on the TV a little bit, and there is there is a portrait of Hitler that couldn't be more Nazified.
Yeah,
if they tried to.
So picture this, friends. Picture this: you wake up on the San Andreas fault line, and an earthquake happens. Unthinkable.
Yeah,
and
in California, oh god,
it completely destroys LA, and gangs take over.
Very, very minuscule,
tiny gangs
of 5 or 6 men,
3 to 5.
Yeah,
and so, and they don't take over LA because the budget's not big enough for the movie.
The budget for this film is not big enough to do LA.
They take over the beaches, and who, in all the chaos, wants to rule all the gangs and skim off the top like the mob? Nazis. So,
or a kid named Josh, I believe is his
name. A kid named Josh who goes by Adolf. He forms a gang of his cronies, and they basically try to mimic, in a typical low budget 1980s fashion, all the people that you probably have read about in your history books and in your geography.
Very early 80s, sort of. Oh, for you guys who weren't around in the 80s, all right. I may not look like it, but the bald head probably tells you I was around. The 80s were an interesting time. They were an interesting time. And you think woke is a problem now. In the 80s, we needed all the sensitivity we could get because people did not give a shit.
And
they didn't.
Yeah, it was the time of race being a really easy topic for humor.
Yeah.
And we watch those things now.
Mental health,
sexuality, gender. All right, so keep that in mind if you decide to watch this flick. Content warning immediately.
Yeah. Don't watch this and go, "Oh, these people were sensitive." They weren't, and nobody cared. That's the thing. No. America in the 80s was a very different place. And I know we try to think that it wasn't, but like if you go back and watch like Friends, right? There's a lot of stuff that's very problematic in Friends.
Even The Office, which came after Friends.
Yeah. Really, so but that's only like 15 years ago. All right? So, back about 20 years from that, and things were... there's a great episode. I'm sorry, and this is digression because this is not about surf Nazis. But there's a great episode of The Twilight Zone. First of all, shout out to Twilight Zone. Love Twilight Zone. This is a great episode of Twilight Zone where these kids, they go in this pool, and they dive down deep, and they end up on like another reality with grandma, and grandma loves them, right? But like when they would come home, their parents were always fighting. Their parents were getting divorced, and there's a moment where the mother turns to the daughter with 2 kids, and she goes, everything was all right before you guys came. We're getting a divorce because of you, right? And I remember going, these kids are like 7 or 8 years old, and being like, Jesus Christ, the 60s were rough.
Yeah.
Like the early 60s, like, oh no, not only we're going to get divorced and that's going to cause chaos in our family, I'm going to let you know that I blame you directly.
Yeah.
Which is rough. But that's just how different the time was. And that's the 60s, but the 80s were just as bad for a lot of things.
The good thing, the positive note, is that at least even in the 80s, in all the ridiculousness and clear blatant racism in this movie, Nazis were still bad. So
no, Nazis back then were worse than they are now.
Yeah.
According to Kanye loves him some Nazis. All right?
Yeah, so, you make a fair point.
Listen, Nazis were worse in the 80s than they are now. Nazis should be anathema to everybody.
Yeah.
But apparently, if you make hot beats and you marry Armenian women who use you for their celebrity, then Nazis are good.
I can't comment. But I do denounce any anti-Semitism, and I hate it.
Yes.
Horribly.
Yes.
So that being said, in this movie, surf Nazis are taking over the beaches, and it's just it's a problem, and the cops are too busy in LA to be paid enough to be in this movie. No, there's not. There's no police, and all the police apparently are too busy with the natural disaster.
But her son dies, and the morgue is still operating.
The morgue is operating, but the police are like
aren't.
I mean, it was also the 1980s. I mean, Rodney King was 92?
Yes, but there were still police.
Yeah, but they probably didn't care.
Sadly, probably.
It was horrible. I mean, like, what did they do? Like, I unfortunately watched that Dahmer, the whole Dahmer. Nobody cares. It's a whole issue. Nobody cares. That was in Minneapolis, but still, it doesn't matter.
True. Yeah. All right, I'm sorry. We have gone all over the place.
I'm gonna regret it, and you're gonna find me in 10 years. I'm gonna be like, take this down for my professional sake. But like, yeah, I mean, it was like extremely heavy. So anyway, they're taking over. There's no police. Her son dies, unfortunately, by the hands because he's just trying to intervene and be a good Samaritan and help this person who's getting robbed.
Yeah.
By surf Nazis and very 1980s like costume like.
Oh, you're making it big. His costume's very small.
It's very small. It's like a 10 Iron Cross necklace and like a...
Oh, I meant the guy who got killed.
Oh.
Yeah, those shorts are really short.
Really short shorts, a cut off, and he looked good. Sportswear from the 80s. Like,
the shorts were too short.
They were not too short. He was a runner.
Was he? Because he seemed to... Anyway, that was a whole thing that he had going on there. And he does get murdered.
Yeah.
And the mother who is the star of this film. And I just IMDb'd her. She's not on there.
She's not there.
She's the main character.
We want to know where she is.
Yeah, I don't know if she ever did anything before this. I don't know if she ever did anything after it. But in this thing, she's the superstar.
She's the goddamn carries the whole movie on her.
She is back. The black woman who won't take anymore.
No, but she's also like even before this tragedy, she still didn't like she took no shit. She like moved to a retirement home because of course her house is like unlivable because of this massive earthquake that's ruined LA.
But she does keep her blue dress immaculate.
Her fucking blue dress is immaculate. And then on top of that, she's like dealing poker, smoking Black and Milds.
Yeah, something like a Black and Mild.
Something like a Black and Mild. Cigarello.
Yeah.
And is
it's got the plastic tip, so it's classy.
And in her muumuu is cutting down trees.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't like the view out of her house. So she's already badass. And
we were watching her eat. We were eating momos while she was in a muumuu.
That's and muumuu. Stuff. And I called it a momo.
No, it's great.
Anyway, we're gonna get way off track. So
I'm sorry. Yeah.
What happens? He tries to intervene. They cut him down in his prime, and she has to identify him at the morgue, which is still functioning, even though the cops are not, or they're elsewhere protecting Beverly Hills. Yeah. And so she's like, "What's a woman to do? But kill some surf Nazis."
Yeah, and she does. And I think my favorite part of this film, you were talking about your favorite part being when the gentleman
in
the no shirt, who has no shirt in most of this movie.
Most of the movie. I'm sorry. But yeah, honestly, now that I'm seeing this part, we're rewatching it. I have to change my original opinion.
The end of the movie, she is in a speedboat,
which she commandeers from the owner at gunpoint.
At gunpoint, and they chase down the last two Nazis who are on surfboards.
Yep.
And they chase them down, and they run the girl over with the speedboat, and it decapitates her somehow.
It breaks the surfboard in half, and she is decapitated. And it's like a typical like 1980 like foam head.
Yeah, but like I don't know that the physics of that works. It is the best moment in the film.
Sick.
It is crazy. And you see, there's my daughter up there.
Oh,
see a picture of her this way. Elizabeth looks good. I'm sorry, her hair looks amazing in that picture. By the way, if you guys ever meet Elizabeth, her hair doesn't look that amazing usually because it's craziness to get it that teased out, but it looks really great. Anyway, yeah, they run over Ava.
Ava's gone.
She
got her head chopped off by
then what does Adolf do? Which literally the physics of it don't make any sense.
So he's okay. So this is. Can we watch it again real quick? This is so great. So it's happening right now.
Yeah,
right now.
So no, it's about to happen now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he's. So imagine this. She commandeers this boat. The guy who owns it, he's like sitting with a friend, and they're eating like hot dogs, and he's like, "These hot dogs are terrible." And she's like, "I'm gonna eat your boat." And then they like get in the boat. He's driving. She like has the gun still on him. And then eventually
he gets into it.
He just gets into it. The gun like just disappears, and he's like going after these Nazis.
I mean, it isn't because she had to hold on to the boat so she didn't die.
Probably the latter. But yeah. But she does. They decapitate Ava.
Yeah.
And then they circle around and come back to kill Adolf, and he's just swimming. And then all of a sudden he like kicks back up in his board and goes, yeah, and like this knife just goes right in the guy's back of the truck, and he goes, ah! and he just like right over.
He stumps over. It's amazing.
And she's like, you know what I mean? She's like, well, yes, I'm driving now.
I'll get rid of that body.
You know what I mean? Just like pushes him over and just starts driving.
And she crushes the board.
Yeah.
Right?
And she shoots him.
Yeah.
And then he gets on the boat to try to kill her.
And she puts the gun in his mouth.
And says, I'm gonna like try my home cooking.
Yeah.
Pulls the trigger on this Luger and blood just blasts back into her face.
Yeah.
As he falls in the water.
They're not afraid of getting her bloody, which is amazing. And he falls back into the water.
And then she's
still smoking a black. She's smoking a black and mild.
She's
still smoking this thing,
hanging out of her mouth
with the blood all over her face.
With the blood all over her face, and he's floating away, and she just looks so satisfied, just like,
oh man,
that's what you get.
It's great, and
she is everything that is revenge, power, and justice.
Yeah. She's covered in blood, but she shows no more remorse, and she really is.
And she hops on her motorcycle again, laughing with her. Actually, those are fucking killer glasses.
Yeah, those glasses are great.
Sunglasses are good, real big.
So,
and she rides off.
This lady, if you're wondering where you can see her work, the answer is nowhere.
One place.
And Surf Nazis Must Die. But she is worth seeing.
What? Gail Neely is her name.
Gail Neely.
Gail Neely, where are you?
Yeah.
Gail Neely, we love you.
If you know any Gail Neely's work.
If you know her Venmo, we'll pay money.
Yeah.
Just to know that she's doing okay.
Yeah. Or if she isn't, what else she could do, or maybe a memorial fund we can donate to.
How can we help? How can we help?
Because this is like 40 years ago. So, yeah.
She could be, yeah.
What year were you born? So this is what?
That wasn't my choice.
3 years before you were born.
Yeah.
That this movie came out. I'm sorry. Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies is coming on. So we're going to tie a bow on this thing. Andrew, if you liked what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. I will be putting in our audio episode.
I don't know where it's gonna be. Somewhere.
It'll be somewhere in the screen somewhere. I will be putting the audio up with the logo for Lost Movie Madness with Akeem and Friends.
With the full interview.
This is the front, which makes me happy because it's been a while since I had a friend on. And when we talking about this movie,
you found me outside by the dumpster
and much
looking
more.
For
this has been a great time. Andrew's actually slept, which is amazing for him.
5 hours.
Yeah. And we're gonna watch Slipstream.
Yeah, Slipstream's next. Mark Hamill. What?
Mark Hamill in something that's not Star Wars, so it'll be
more voice acting because we love Mark Hamill, voice actor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Andrew,
oh my gosh, it was so good. We'll do it again soon. You'll have to listen to me again, or you can just keep putting momos in my mouth.
Yes. On that note, just want you to remember that madness is all in the mind. Movie madness is all in the mind. Thank you so much for listening, guys. You have a great day.
Bye.